Now we're going to talk about taking that proof picture that we used before and turning it into just the first step of what we're doing to solve the problem. We talked and did a whole video on keeping it organized, and this is what it looked like when we had an organized proof picture. The next thing I want to do is start using this as step one and then applying some strategies for solving this problem as well. And you might be thinking, why does Mrs. Reed make me do a proof picture and do a strategy? The reason is you can use the proof picture as a way to solve the problem. This is true. But if you get mixed up and you get an answer that you know can't be true, like if you get an answer when you make your proof picture that is smaller than 84 or smaller than 39, and you think you did it right, you're stuck if you don't know another way to solve the problem. So my job is to make sure you have at least 2 ways to solve your problem. Some of you I'm going to give more. Some kids might use more strategies than that. Some might only have 2, and here's why. It's a lot to keep track of in your brain. And we want to make sure that you have at least 2 ways, okay? One of those ways is the proof picture. Another way is a strategy. If you can do at least 2 things, then you can go back. If you get stuck and you know your answer can't be right, it doesn't make sense, then you have another way to try the problem. You're not totally stuck. Then you might get a different answer when you solve it the strategy way, and then you might be able to go back and find your mistake in your proof picture. That just leads to a deeper understanding of math. It means that you're really able to think about what makes sense with numbers, what doesn't make sense, and solve it all the way to get the right answer and to really understand numbers, okay? Let's look at 2 more strategies that would go with this proof picture, okay? The first one is the expanded form. Now it is really important still when you move on from your proof picture to keep everything lined up. In the expanded form, we're going to take the original numbers and we're going to pull and stretch them apart to show the value of the hundreds, tens, and ones within each individual number, and then we're going to stack them and put them together. Okay? Here's what expanded looks like for 39. 39 is made out of 3 tens, which we write as 30, plus 9 ones. And 84 is made of 8 tens, which we write as 80, plus 4 ones. Now that I've stretched those numbers out, I can look at them. I took these numbers and I pulled them apart this way. But now that I've pulled them apart, I'm going to turn my ruler this way and look at them as tens plus ones. In fact, I'm going to change the color here. And I'm going to write my ones in green. That way I can see more clearly that this is the tens place value. This is the ones. I can even label it ones, tens. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my tens together. Sometimes I even take a piece of paper and cover up my ones so that my brain's not thinking about them or seeing them. I know I've got 3 tens plus 8 tens. I can use touch math to solve this. I'm going to grab my big guy, 8, 9, 10, 11. 8 tens plus 3 tens, 80 plus 30 makes 11 tens. 80, 90, 100, 110. Done with the tens. Moving on to the ones. I'm going to move my add sign down because I know when I'm done I'm going to add my tens plus my ones. Let's look at just the ones. Again, I can use touch math. I'm going to grab my big guy and put touch math points on my smaller digit to make it easier to count. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, I literally can cover up the top and just look at the bottom. Now, this is what's confusing about this strategy. We went from up and down vertical, horizontal, horizontal, vertical, vertical, and now we're back to horizontal. That's a lot of switching directions, and sometimes that can be like kind of hard to keep track of, which is why this may not be the strategy that works best for your brain, but I want to show it to you anyway because it is one of the strategies. 110 plus 13, that's where we are. This right here is where we are, okay? We've done this work, we've done this work. This is the last step. When I look at this, I'm going to look at tens, hundreds, and ones. I know I'm going to start with my most powerful place value, which is the hundreds. I can even label it here. Hundreds, tens, ones. In this problem, I don't have any hundreds, so I'm actually going to put a 0 there. I have 1 10 and I have 3 ones. Now I can see the place value for each digit. I'm going to start with my most powerful one, hundreds to hundreds, and I'm going to add them together. 100 plus 0 hundreds leaves 100. Now I can do my tens. 1 10 plus another 10. 1 10 plus 1 10 makes 2 tens. Now I can do my ones. 0 ones plus 3 ones. 0 plus 3 is 3. My total is 123 using the expanded strategy, and that matches the same total I got using my proof picture. Okay, we're going to use just one more way, one more strategy to solve this problem. This one is called the all totals. Let's see if I can find some room on my board here. I'm going to move even further down, so I hope it's not too shaky for you to see. All totals. Again, taking our starting numbers, 39 and 84, lining them up. Tens lined up with ones. Okay? And the all totals, I'm going to always start with the most powerful place value, which is the tens. Okay? I'm going to add those tens together. I'm going to label them. That helps me keep track of them. Sometimes you might even draw a line to keep track of them. Again, I'm going to grab my big guy and touch dot my small guy. 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 tens, which I know is 110. And then I'm going to add to that my ones. 9 ones plus 4 ones. Let's put touch math on our 4. He's the little guy. Grab the big guy. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now this looks more like the traditional way that we learned it in school. The only difference is that we're not having to do the carrying like we learned. We just wrote a total for tens and a total for ones. And now we're going to add them together. 3 plus 0 is 3. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 comes down. A little more traditional. I can see down there tiny is 123, which matches my total from my expanded strategy, which matches my total from my picture proof. Okay? I know this looks like a ton of work, but remember, you don't have to do this one and this one. What you do need to be able to do is math proof picture every time, and then pick this one or this one, whichever one seems simpler to your brain. As long as you can do a proof picture in one of these strategies and come out with the same total, that's a very good effort, and it shows all your thinking.